What's up, guys? Well, this is a tag video because I got tagged by one of the coolest people on YouTube, Superflyfatguy859. Yes, I love the channel. If you don't subscribe to him, you gotta check him out. Actually, I'm gonna give another shout out to someone new in another video, but Superflyfatguy has been one of these channels that I watch religiously just because I really like his personality. He's got some good things to say about knives and gear and stuff like that. And it's interesting to see how he's progressing personally, you know, into these different hobbies, how much he's learning, you know, over time about knives and guns and all kinds of stuff. But really, above all, he's a really nice guy and he's really charismatic, and I like his personality. He's someone I love to hang out with in real life. So one of many people on YouTube, but he's definitely someone that stands out in my mind and someone who I don't miss a single video. But anyway, he tagged me, he was tagged, and actually I think I had 3 different tag videos in one. But the part that he tagged me, or passed on the torch, so to say, was probably my favorite question. And it's a 2-part question, and it's really interesting, and it's something no one's ever asked me before, and nothing I ever really thought about before, so I love it. It's awesome. I'm more than happy to do this video. And don't worry, I know you're staring at nothing right now, because I want to surprise you with what my answers are and why in a moment. I have them there and there. So, the question is, what fixed blade would you like to see as a folder? And then the second part, what folder would you like to see as a fixed blade? So the idea is, you know, maybe there's a folder you like, and maybe, you know, you'd like to kind of see a fixed blade version for whatever reason. Maybe you like the folder design, but maybe it's not strong enough. Maybe you are more of a fixed blade guy, and you kind of always like that folder, but, you know, you're not into folders. And vice versa. Maybe, you know, you're really a folder guy like me. I tend to prefer folders over fixed blades, but there's some fixed blades you really like, and you'd love to see a folder version of that. Well, this question is extremely interesting, and I'm glad it was asked because it's something I never really thought about, But there's too many awesome knives out there to kind of randomly pick. I can probably come up with at least 2 dozen for each category and give you plenty of reasons as to why. But I want to narrow it down to actual things that I own right now. So 1, I can show you on camera, and 2, it would make it easier for me because it's a very broad question and a very interesting question. And honestly, hard to answer. If you had to only pick one of each, you know, you'd be kind of fighting and struggling. One thing I can tell you, the first thing I thought of for fixed blade would be a Frost Mora. But I didn't pick that for my fixed blade because I have something else that I'd prefer as a folder version, which I'll show you in a second. But anyway, well, here, let's get into it. Here's my fixed blade that I wish they made a folder version. And that is the 7-inch K-bar. Any version, leather stacked, tactical, whatever, but the 7-inch fighter, okay? And it has to be in the Bowie or Bowie design, not the Tanto version. I would love to see this knife here, this fixed blade, in a folder version. Now, because this is the 7-inch, and we don't have a 7-inch handle, this would be very reminiscent to the Benchmade LFK, which sadly is no longer made. And there's a lot of other knives out there, fixed blades, folding fixed blades you'd call them, because they do have a larger handle, or excuse me, larger blade to handle, so that when the blade folds, you have blade that's sticking out the back of the handle. So in a lot of cases, you'll have a piece that either extends out, which kind of sheathes the edge, or you'll have something that folds in. I've seen one of the best designs is when you have something like this where you have a shorter handle than blade. The blade folds in, or excuse me, when the blade folds out and locks into place, and usually like a lockback style lock, the separate piece that extends actually folds back in the handle. So, I know that made it sound more complicated than it is. Let's say this is folded, right? You'd unfold it, okay, now it's locked open, and the piece that's extending would just, you know, you'd have like a pivot pin or screw or something here, and that would fold into the handle, okay, so it's completely enclosed. As opposed to sliding up and down, I think that's more of a flimsy design. So you'd have basically this knife in a smaller package for carry, so you don't have to carry a massive sheath. If you were to, you'd have to do some modifications in my opinion. The handle's too bulky to keep in your pocket. You'd have to slim down the handle, shave off, you know, some on both sides, still contour the edges so it'd be nice and comfortable. That would also give you a little more weight reduction. You're not gonna have a full pommel, in my opinion. I suppose you could, obviously you'd have to notch it out for the blade to go through, but it would, again, add a lot of weight. But I would love to see, you know, Benchmade LFK version of this knife. Basically, I think that would be awesome, and I would totally carry it because I love my big knives just as much as I love my small ones. So that's ultimately out of all the fixed blades I have right now that I'd love to see a folding version of. Like I said, the first one that popped in my head would be a Frost Mora. All the Mora knives I think would be really cool in a folding version. If you kept it the same price, you know, let's say 15 bucks instead of 10 bucks, and you made a folding version of it, plastic handle, just something really simple, you know, making a locking knife, I think it'd be extremely popular. That Scandinavian grind is, you know, the convex grind on there is really, really popular right now, just with all the bushcraft things and just a lot of the makers online and stuff that are they're into it. People really like those. Those Moore knives are probably one of the best, you know, bargains out there for a super cheap outdoor kind of medium to small fixed blade. So I'd love to see a folding version of that too. But anyway, this is the one I picked. So now the opposite question: what folder would you like to see a fixed blade? Now this was really difficult because there's a lot of folders I love, and thinking about it, pretty much any of them open and locked, you know, in a fixed blade version would be pretty cool. But I tend to lean towards the smaller knives for fixed blades. If I'm going to go with a fixed blade, I will go big. That, in my mind, that's usually what's going on. I know some of you guys out there, and I think it's kind of rare, but a lot of guys who like small fixed blades, they don't like folders, they just like small fixed blades because they want them to be their EDC knives. Whereas I think most of us, we like our folders because they are smaller, and when we think of a fixed blade, we think of something that's a lot more capable, a lot larger. I would say it's the minority that like, you know, say 3-inch bladed fixed blades, you know, and they like to carry it in a sheath on their side. That's going to be more or less a lot of hunters, you know, a lot of constant outdoorsmen, if you will, but more the people who are carrying like folders for EDC purposes, you know, to work or, you know, around town, whatever, just kind of hanging out. Generally speaking, we tend to think of fixed blades being larger knives, but anyway, leave that in the background so you can stare at it. The folder I'd like to see a fixed blade would be this one. And this happens to be the Kiwi 3, so it's a slip joint version, but basically any of the Kiwi models. Some are really done up really nice with, you know, mother of pearl and abalone and all kinds of stuff like that. But I really would love to see this as a fixed blade because I think it would make an excellent little neck knife. The two, you know, double deep finger choils, really, really comfortable in the hands. You get a full 4-finger grip on this knife. You have a nice little slender blade. As far as modifications, if this was a little, you know, neck knife, I'd like to see a full flat grind on this. You have a nice, tiny, acute point. Super comfortable, easy to wield. Be great for utility, little neck knife. And even the all stainless steel model like this, it hardly weighs anything at all. So I'd love to see this as a fixed blade. So this was a really, really interesting concept for, you know, a video, a thought, basically a knife thought. But here's my choices. There's a lot of choices out there, and trust me, if I broadened the horizon here, I'd come up with a bunch of different knives. But I try to, like I said, make it easier for me, to be honest, because there's too many cool knives out there to think of. So I just went with what I personally own so I can show it here on camera for you. But this would make an awesome little neck knife, and then I think this would make a very cool, large folder. So that's my opinion on the subject. So go check out the video, check out Superflyfatguy859, check out everyone else who he's shouting out because they're all awesome people. Check out everyone. There's too many people on YouTube. Everyone gets missed. There are a lot of people in the shadows and in the dark that are just so worth watching. It's just hard because no one ever hears about them. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I know I've been a little MIA lately, but just a lot of life stuff going on. But that's okay. I'm getting back on board ASAP because I have a lot of catching up to do, a lot of awesome things to review, things I've been using for a long time. Anything I showed in the past and you're kind of like waiting around like, oh my God, when's he gonna show that? Hopefully soon. I'm really, really trying to kick it in the butt now and get some videos there for you guys. So thanks again for watching, for all your time and your support. It's always appreciated greatly. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon.